My name is Layla Patel, and I am 42 years old. I work as a high school science teacher in a small town in Ohio. About 6 months ago, I had an experience that drastically altered my life and outlook on things. I died for several minutes and experienced a fantastic voyage to heaven. It was a regular Saturday afternoon. I went out for a jog in my neighborhood when I felt a strong pain in my chest. Before I knew it, I had collapsed on the sidewalk. Later, I discovered that I had experienced a catastrophic heart attack as a result of an undiscovered congenital cardiac abnormality. A neighbor witnessed me collapse and dialed 911. By the time the paramedics arrived, my heart had stopped. They worked on me for several minutes, attempting to revive me through CPR and defibrillation. At that time, I was clinically dead. It's difficult to put into words, but I felt a profound sensation of calm come over me. I was in severe pain on the pavement 1 second, and then felt myself soaring above my body the next. I could see the paramedics working on me, but I felt entirely disconnected from the situation. Then I was bathed in the most stunning, warm light I'd ever seen. It was brighter than the sun, but it did not bother my eyes at all. I was drawn to it, as if it were slowly pulling me in. As I drew closer, I noticed a figure standing in the light. I recognized Jesus right away, despite the fact that I had never seen him before. Jesus extended his hand to me and smiled. His adoration was overpowering. I've never felt so thoroughly accepted and appreciated. He said it wasn't my time yet, and I still had a job to accomplish on earth. But he intended to give me a preview of what awaits those who believe in him. We were instantly taken to the most gorgeous setting I had ever seen. The hues were more vibrant than any on earth. There were rolling hills covered in lush grass and colorful flowers. A crystal-clear river flowed nearby, and I could see a lovely metropolis in the distance with towers that seemed to reach the sky. He walked beside me and showed me around. He assured me that this was only a taste of what heaven is like. He stated that in heaven, we would have genuine physical bodies, not phantom forms as some believe. Our bodies will be in pristine condition, free of pain and illness. He showed me the tree of life, which produces the most delicious fruit I've ever had. According to Jesus, it bears a different fruit each month and heals with its leaves. I observed people from all over the world gathered around it, looking perfectly healthy and happy. I did. I saw my grandmother, who had passed several years before. She appeared young and lively, unlike the fragile woman I remembered from her final days. Jesus emphasized that in heaven we will be reunited with our loved ones who have believed in him. We'll also encounter biblical heroes. I observed people sitting and conversing with Abraham, Moses, and David. Everyone laughed and told stories. It felt like the most beautiful family reunion you could imagine. Heaven appears to be a very active place. He showed me folks building the most amazing houses I'd ever seen. They were working together to build these wonderful constructions out of materials I had never seen before. Jesus taught that in heaven, we will be able to create and build, expressing our creativity in ways we cannot even comprehend today. I also witnessed the most stunning gardens. People were caring for plants and trees, gathering fruits and vegetables. But it wasn't as arduous as work on earth. Everyone appeared to love it. There were no weeds or pests, and the produce was excellent, and that was one of the most fantastic aspects. I saw lions lying down with lambs and toddlers playing with bears and tigers. All of the animals were quiet and kind. Jesus stated that in heaven, there will be no more violence or terror between humans and animals, or even among the animals themselves. I recall witnessing people riding on the backs of dolphins in the crystal-clear river, while others flew through the skies with eagles. It felt as if all of creation was in complete harmony. I experienced an overpowering sensation of love and belonging. There was no fear, concern, or despair. Every moment was infused with genuine delight and wonderment. I did not want to leave. The most powerful experience, however, was being in Jesus' presence. His love was so obvious and all-encompassing. I realized then that the greatest joy of heaven is not the beauty or the activities, but the full contact with God. Jesus informed me it was time to go back. He claimed he showed me these things so I might spread hope to others. He informed me that what I had witnessed was only a peak. The reality of heaven is even more amazing than we can conceive. In an instant, I felt myself being drawn back. The paramedic exclaimed, "We've got a pulse!" And I was back in my body, panting for air. They hurried me to the hospital, where I spent a few days resting. It has changed everything. I no longer dread death since I know it is simply a portal to something far more beautiful. I have a newfound regard for life. I attempt to live each day with a purpose, knowing that my actions here have eternal consequences. I also feel compelled to share what I have witnessed with others. I want everyone to know that heaven exists and is more magnificent than we can fathom. Most importantly, I want others to know Jesus. He's the key to everything. His love is what defines heaven. One of the most surprising aspects for me was heaven's lively and engaging nature. It's not just sitting on clouds and playing harps, as some people believe. Jesus revealed me that there will be so many incredible things to accomplish and experience. For example, he showed me folks who are exploring the universe. In heaven, humans will be able to travel to faraway galaxies and observe stars and planets up close. Our minds will be far sharper, able to fathom the complexities of the universe in ways we cannot even imagine now. I witnessed people plunging into the depths of the oceans, uncovering beautiful underwater landscapes and creatures we had never seen before. There was no need for apparatus. We could breathe underwater and withstand any pressure. Jesus also showed me massive libraries packed with books that contained all of the universe's information. People were eager to learn, share ideas, and make new discoveries. It felt like the greatest university, but without the stress or competitiveness, just pure joy in learning and growing. It was wonderful to watch how people connect in heaven. Heaven's relationships are far deeper and more significant than anything we have experienced on earth. There is no jealousy, misunderstanding, or strife. Everyone communicates with complete love and understanding. I witnessed people from all cultures and time eras interacting and sharing their stories and experiences. There was a lot of laughter and joy during these interactions. It was as if the walls that frequently divide us on earth, language, culture, and race, were completely gone. Everyone was united in their love for God and one another. Jesus taught that in heaven, we will have eternity to form relationships, not just with other people, but also with Him and God the Father. He showed me people having profound, intimate conversations with God, asking questions, and receiving wisdom straight from the source of all knowledge. Jesus showed me that in heaven, our creativity will be freed in ways we cannot comprehend right now. I observed individuals painting with hues that do not exist on earth and making music that appeared to come alive in the air around them. There were massive workshops where people were inventing and creating amazing stuff. But it wasn't like work as we know it. There was no stress or deadlines, only the pure joy of creation. Jesus stated that we will be able to fully express the creative potential that God has given us, free of the constraints that we face on earth. I witnessed people working together on large projects like building cities, sculpting landscapes, and even creating new universes. It seemed as if our imaginations could become actual. Jesus declared that, just as God is the ultimate creator, we will be able to participate in creation in incredible ways. Jesus explained that in heaven, we will not perceive time in the same manner that we do on earth. There is no night and day cycle, no aging, and no deadlines or schedules to follow. He taught me that every moment in heaven is full and wonderful. There's no boredom or wasted time. You can spend what appears to be years exploring a faraway galaxy or conversing with a biblical hero without feeling as if you're missing out on anything else. Jesus promised that in heaven we will be able to fully enjoy God's eternal essence. We'll always have more to discover, learn, and create without ever feeling pressured or anxious about time. He underlined that heaven is not a disembodied, ethereal state. We'll have bodily bodies that are identical to our earthly bodies. We will be able to touch, taste, smell, see, and hear with significantly more sensitive senses than we currently have. He also taught me that heaven isn't simply one location. It's growing. I saw Jesus preparing new areas as he had promised in the Bible. He said that as more people believe in him, he creates new rooms in heaven for them, each one unique and ideal for that person. He also addressed the assumption that we will lose our individuality in heaven. He demonstrated that the reverse is true. In heaven, we become more fully ourselves than we ever could on earth. All of the characteristics that distinguish us, our personalities, hobbies, and talents, are refined and increased. The tree of life was one of the most incredible sights Jesus showed me. It was massive, with branches that seemed to extend indefinitely into the sky. Its leaves were a brilliant green, shimmering with life. The fruit of the tree of life was unlike anything I had ever seen or eaten. Every month, it produces a different type of fruit. When I tasted it, it was like tasting every nice flavor I'd ever had at once, but increased 1,000-fold. It was unimaginably good. However, it wasn't just about the taste. Jesus emphasized that the fruit of the tree of life promotes health and vigor. Eating food keeps our heavenly bodies in top condition, and the leaves of the tree, he claimed, brought healing to nations. I witnessed humans bringing these leaves to earth and using them to promote physical and spiritual healing. And this was one of the most startling aspects of what he showed me. Heaven is not entirely separate from earth. I observed individuals in heaven observing the events on earth and praying for their loved ones who were still alive. Jesus showed me how people's prayers in heaven combine with the prayers of Christians on earth to form a strong spiritual force. He added that individuals in heaven are well aware of what is happening on earth and actively participate in God's continuing mission of salvation. I also observed preparations for the time when heaven and earth shall be united. Jesus offered me visions of what the Bible refers to as the new heaven and new earth, a future period when God will fully dwell with his people and all of creation will be regenerated. The creatures in heaven were incredible to see. I recognized certain species and saw others for the first time, which could be extinct animals or new inventions. What struck me most was how calm all of the animals were. I witnessed lions laying down with lambs, precisely as the Bible describes. There was no fear and no predator-prey interaction. All of the animals appeared to have intelligence and awareness beyond what we observe on Earth. I remember seeing a tiny child riding on the back of a massive tiger, both of them absolutely relaxed. Dolphins were swimming alongside people in the river, and eagles soared across the sky. It was as if the human-animal barrier had been entirely removed. Jesus explained that in heaven, humans will be able to converse with animals in ways we cannot comprehend today. They are part of God's creation, and in heaven, we will be able to fully enjoy and engage with them in the way God intended. That sounds great. He made it very apparent that heaven is a place of amazing serenity and harmony. He stated that, while heaven is a free gift and we cannot earn our way there, how we live on earth is important. He inspired me to live each day with an eternal perspective, understanding that our acts here will have implications in eternity. Jesus stated that the best way to prepare for heaven is to strengthen our relationship with him today. He urged me to spend time in prayer, study the Bible, and actively strive to know him more. He stated that the more we know him on earth, the better we will be able to appreciate heaven. He also emphasized the value of loving others and spreading the good news about himself. He demonstrated how every act of kindness, every time we express our beliefs, sends ripples into eternity. Jesus stated that while we can't fully comprehend the splendor of heaven, we can get a taste of it on earth, in moments of worship, profound relationships, and the beauty of nature. He inspired me to seek out these glimpses of heaven in my everyday life. It has changed everything. I wake up every day with a sense of purpose and excitement that I have never felt before. Knowing what awaits us in heaven inspires me to confront the hardships of life on earth. I'm seeing people differently now, as immortal beings who are dear to God. It has made me more patient, loving, and willing to forgive. After all, the person who irritates me now could be my neighbor in heaven for eternity. I also find myself becoming less attached to material possessions. Don't get me wrong, I still love the wonderful things in life, but I hold them loosely, knowing that what awaiting us in heaven much outweighs anything we can have here. Most importantly, it has strengthened my connection with Jesus. Knowing Him, loving Him, and serving Him are what life is all about. Everything else stems from that relationship. Before this happened to me, I could have been doubtful. I'm a scientific teacher after all. I prefer proof and rational explanations. However, I would encourage skeptics to retain an open mind. There are numerous tales of near-death experiences from people all around the world, representing various cultures and beliefs. While the specifics may differ, there are remarkable parallels across many of these narratives. I would also argue that the impact of my experience serves as evidence of its truth. I witnessed King David writing fresh psalms of praise. I even saw a vision of Einstein talking with the Apostle Paul about the nature of time and eternity. What struck me, however, was the lack of hierarchy or celebrity culture. Everyone, from the most famous biblical hero to the most minor saint, was equally cherished and adored. They were all ready to share their stories and experiences while also learning from one another. I remember seeing a woman I didn't recognize having a lengthy talk with Mary, Jesus' mother. The affection and mutual respect between them were amazing to witness. Jesus emphasized that in heaven, we will have eternity to form relationships with everyone there and learn from each other's unique experiences with God. This was one of the most exhilarating moments for me. Jesus made it clear that heaven is not a place of passive rest, but rather active participation in God's continuous work. He showed me people being given what he called kingdom assignments, which are specific responsibilities or roles that precisely match their God-given passions and abilities. Some were inventing new things, while others were educating and governing various regions of heaven. I saw individuals being sent on missions to various regions of the universe to explore and carry God's light into new realms. Others were active in heaven's ongoing growth, working to prepare areas for new arrivals. Jesus explained that as our knowledge of God and skills increase, so do our obligations. Work in heaven is never a burden. It is always enjoyable, purposeful, and done in collaboration with God and others. He also demonstrated how our earthly experiences prepare us for our heavenly positions. The character we form, the talents we learn, and the unique experiences we have all influence our everlasting destiny. It made me understand how important our decisions and deeds on earth truly are. That is profound. It provides a completely fresh perspective on the relevance of how we spend our lives now. There is one thing I believe is critical to mention. Throughout my entire experience, from the instant I encountered Jesus to the miracles he showed me in heaven, one thing remained constant. It's all about relationship with him. The beauty of heaven, the joy, the calm, the intriguing activities, all stem from a perfect relationship with God. Jesus made it plain that he is the path to this amazing eternal life. His sacrifice on the cross and resurrection allow us to be forgiven, reconciled with God, and enjoy the wonders of heaven. He encouraged me to tell others that this isn't just a good story or a soothing thought. It's truth, and it's available to anyone who puts their trust in him. He invites everyone to know him, to follow him, and to spend eternity with him in a place beyond our wildest imaginations. I advise everyone to take this seriously. Don't disregard it, but don't simply take my word for it either. Investigate for yourself. Read the Bible, especially the passages regarding Jesus and heaven. Investigate other near-death experiences. But, most importantly, reach out to Jesus personally. You do not need to have a near-death experience to know him or be certain of your everlasting fate. He is as close as a prayer. Talk to him. Invite him into your life. Ask him to show himself to you. And if you already have a connection with Jesus, let this be an encouragement to get closer to him. Live with eternity in mind. Allow the truth of heaven to impact your thoughts, how you treat others, and how you spend your time and money. Remember that heaven is more than just a destination. It is a present reality that we may experience in part today via our connection with Jesus. The better we know him today, the more fully we will enjoy heaven for eternity. Thank you for hosting me. It has been a pleasure to share. I pray that everyone who listens will feel Jesus' love and joy in this life and in the eternal life to come.